Welcome to PowerPoint Create a Video. I'm Trainer Lori. Why would you want to create a video using PowerPoint? Well, because it's the tool that you have, and it allows you to train more people without you having to be there, to record your audio and save the presentation or deck as a video to post. Essentially, to multiply your successes without multiplying your effort. First, you'll want to create the presentation. The best way to do that is to go to File, New, Blank Presentation, and Create. Let's say we're going to create a training video on how to use Excel. Then we would want some screenshots of Excel. So you can go to Insert. Instead of choosing Screenshot, choose the drop-down, and there's an option there called Screen Clipping. It'll take you back to the screen that you were in last, and a white screen shows up over it. Click and drag over what you want to snag, and it turns it into, instantly, it turns it into screen clipping right in PowerPoint. Then you'll want to add shapes like arrows and circles to show where you would be clicking if you were clicking. I find this to be far more effective than showing the live, because if I show it live, it's very small and people can't tell what I'm really doing. But when I show the big arrows and the circles, it's more obvious. Then you would want to animate those. For example, you would want your arrow to come in, and you would want your circle to come in after that. So I like to keep the animation pane on. And you can see the animation pane is under animation, and it opens up over here. So I can choose when it's going to play. Now I just showed you a laser pointer. See that? And that's found under Slideshow, Setup Show. And in there, you'll see it says to show a laser pointer during a slideshow, hold down the Control key and press the mouse button. That's all you have to do. However, if you want to change colors, you do have that option. And then prepare to record. To do that, I recommend that you get a headset or some other type of external microphone. I use one that's noise canceling, which really helps to block out air conditioning sounds and white noise and other little sounds that you might hear in the background, and it won't pick those up. Then we go to Slideshow, Record Slideshow, and you have the option to start recording from beginning, and that's where a good place to start is. However, anytime that you find that you have to stop, you hit Escape, and you can stop, and then you can start over again if you need to. Instead of starting from the beginning, you can then start from the current slide. When you do that, it will say, what would you like to record? Slide and animation timings, and or narrations and laser pointer. And I always choose both. Now it's going to record the time per slide and the overall time. And you can pause at any time if you need to. If you feel like you're going to sneeze or something like that, then you can just pause it without having to stop the whole recording. However, you can always start again. Once you record it, every slide will have a horn in the bottom right corner. It's a little image, but when you click on the image, it'll be a play button, and you can actually play the audio at that point. If you right-click on it, you can trim the audio. That's how I usually get there. However, you can also find it by choosing the playback option, Trim Audio. That shows what the audio looks like, and you can trim it simply by moving the green Start button and the red Stop button. So if you trim, for example, you can see that this audio really isn't very good because it goes way up to the top. That means that I was a little too close to the microphone, and it probably had some popping sounds. And at the end, I coughed, and you can see that those are coughs. I can trim out the coughs easily, but it's hard to trim out the middle. So in this case, I would re-record that slide. To re-record, I would take it into a new deck and not try to record it within the middle of this slide deck, because you might accidentally record over the next slide. And then if you're going to trim your slide audio, you definitely want to trim the transition time too, because that audio was 12 seconds and 0.64, but then I trimmed it down to less than 7. So I would want it to transition about that same time. Then you want to change your timing. For example, if you have something that comes in based on a mouse click, and now you've trimmed a whole bunch of time out of it, it may not be an appropriate timing. So you can actually change your timing to match your audio. So while you're playing, there's an option to add a bookmark. And when you add the bookmark, it will show up in the audio. But you can also use that to change your animation. So now I'm back in my animation pane, and I want that arrow to come in on a certain word. Now, wherever I put that bookmark, I can go into the animation pane and change it to a trigger instead of just start on click. And that trigger can say start on the effective play, and it will show the bookmarks. And you can put as many bookmarks as you can fit in there. It takes time to do this kind of editing, but if it's easier than re-recording, for example, if you're in a location like I am, I can only record early in the morning or at lunch because it gets very noisy during the day, unless I go find a special room somewhere. And sometimes it's easier for me to just change the animation than it is to re-record. Sometimes you might want to insert actual video into your new video. You can do that. Make sure it's video from file. Make sure that you optimize compatibility, because video is going to take a lot of space, and so it allows you to compress. Also, if you have a lot of audio that you trimmed, you might want to compress it as well. And you have some options for compressing. And if you're going to post it, for example, on YouTube, you can make it internet quality. And then you go to File, Save as Video, Save and Send, and then you have Create a Video option. And when you go in there, there's a lot of information, but essentially it's just saying it will use the timings that you've already recorded and the narrations that you've already recorded, and you just click Create Video. When you do that, it'll ask what would you like to call it and where would you like to store it. And then when you hit Save, this little window comes up saying it's creating this video. This is rendering now into a different file format. It takes quite a long time. Sometimes it can take a half an hour or more. You can continue to still use PowerPoint, but it's a good idea to not, because it makes it work a little faster if you don't. So if you can help yourself, go work on something else at that time. And when it's completed, you can view it outside of PowerPoint. And then you can upload it to YouTube or your website or any other social media site that you want. That's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like it, please click like. Thank you.